I keep having discussions with people that don't seem to understand what is the ego and what's the person. And one thing that I find hilarious is that people will accuse others of having an ego when they have no idea what ego death is. Like, for me, it's easy to see if you have an ego because I've experienced life before and life after. So I know what life is like afterwards, and I know what it's like before. So when you're pretending to be woke and I can see something that's without a shadow of a doubt, that's the ego, I know you're full of crap. So one of the interesting things that we were talking about was personality. I never thought about this because I was not scared of ego death. I didn't care what was going to happen. I just wanted this crappy ego to die. So I didn't think that I'm going to lose my personality. I don't really know where people get this idea from. I don't know why people imagine what ego death is like if they can just do it. Like, I never thought about what it's like. I understood the menacing force. I understood what it was doing in my life, so I let it die. So literally, I'm trying to recollect, or like, it was pretty quick, because I remember listening to one speech that I remember listening to one speech on ego death or two, and I remember pausing the video because I think he said, all those ideas, all of that must die. I'm not too sure if that's what it was. I'm pretty sure that's misquoted. But I'm trying to tell you what I understood. So I paused the video and my brain more or less rattled off what I thought of myself when I was in kindergarten, what I thought of myself when I was a teenager, what I thought, like the phases of what I thought I was. And then I realized that this has nothing to do with reality, and every time I thought I was, it was like completely that way or completely that way, like they had nothing to do with each other. And two of the good things were very, very, like, they didn't really come to mind that much. I was super depressed at the time. There was not much to feel good about in my life. So every decision I made, like, it was a stupid idea based on my ego. And my ego was full of crap. So in that key moment, one thing that I understood was I was just struggling with the fact that I was victim of domestic abuse for 12 years. And it's not like it wasn't like I knew I was a victim of domestic abuse until it was over. So, yeah, he strangled me. Yeah, he did stuff that was, like, obviously violent, aggressive. It was more the psychological, like the gaslighting and or the psychological warfare that he waged against me that was the worst thing. So I just spent 12 years thinking I was in I was working on a relationship. That's what I was thinking. And after 12 years, I understood, okay, I wasn't working on the relationship. He was just torturing me for his own pleasure. And this was like this victimhood. I felt embarrassed by it. I felt stupid. I felt there was also nobody believed me as well, which was pretty, like, I was sort of, like, it's weird when the abuser says, no, you're not abused. You know you're abused, and then you tell other people, hey, I was abused, and they say to you, no, you weren't. I know him, he's a nice guy. So that really messes up your perception of reality, kind of warps everything. So I saw that victimhood, and I also connected that victimhood to my victimhood when I was a child. I was molested sexually a few times, actually, and And so in my mind, I just went, I'm a victim, and this has started. My mother abused me when I was a baby. Like, my brother abused me. I sexually abused 1, 2, 3, I'd say 2 times, 3 times. So all my life I was a victim of this abuse, and I just felt like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get out of this cycle of abuse. I'm always gonna fall into the same hands. And so this was a massive part of my ego, and thank God I saw that in this vulnerable time of my life. This was the overwhelming pressure and weight that was weighing me down. And when I looked at it and I said, so hang on, so this victimhood, this is just an idea. So if I want, I can just drop this idea. All I need to do is die to myself. So in my mind, literally all I said, I don't understand what you mean, ego death. But I went, okay, so it's just an idea. So can I give up this idea? Can I drop this idea? Recognize it to be fake. Recognize it to not be true. And this was me in a cold winter's day, I assume, indoors alone, sad and miserable, listening to Krishnamurti, making this realization. And nothing happened. It took me quite a while to fully comprehend the immense difference that this tiny little idea made in my life. And I soon saw that there was something different, but I didn't quite understand the whole impact of what this idea, or dropping this idea, would actually have. And then I started making the videos. So all I'm trying to tell you is that this is exactly what I did. Nothing more, nothing magic, nothing divine. But it needs to be you actually looking at your own ego humbly and slowly, and accept that you are nothing. This idea that you have of yourself is not real. You're just a human being, lucky to be alive. And as soon as you accept that you're nothing, you wouldn't believe what joy you feel at simply being alive. And it's very, very, it's humble, but if you can feel like this immense joy for just breathing. I always laugh when people like feel sorry for me because I'm old. When I tell them my age, they always go, I obviously look a little bit younger than I am, and I always laugh because in my head I go like, yeah man, 34 years, like I never thought I would make it that far, and I'm so happy for every single day that I've gained, and like every single day that's passed, and what a privilege it is to still be alive at the age of 34. There have been quite a lot of situations in my life where I thought I was dead, so that comes with it as well, but all I'm trying to tell you is that that's all I did to feel this immense joy, and all I want is for you to feel the same, because that would be epic. Call me. Thank you very much for listening, and face your fears. They're not going anywhere, they're going to stay there all your life. Face your fears, drop your ego, and enjoy this life of absolute beauty. Thank you. Talk to you soon. One love.